Welcome back to the Smart Tank Revolution, the only place where we always kick out at 2. We are your hosts.
The benevolent, intelligent Donnie Wonderful, alongside with my colleague, the loquacious lecturer, Mr. Joey Business.
I like that. Astute as always. A great intro, Mr. Wonderful. Yeah, folks, this has been, if we sound a little low energy, it's past midnight, and we've just got done watching 5+ hours of wrestling entertainment. AEW had their sophomore release of Double or Nothing tonight
from Daly's Place.
With a live crowd, full capacity.
Yeah. This was to timestamp everything. It's now it's May 31st, but Memorial Day weekend. But this past weekend was the first day where a lot of major events and sporting events were allowed to operate at 100% capacity since COVID-19. So, the crowd there, you can tell, they missed the congregation. I would have loved to have been there just to be amongst wrestling fans, because I'm assuming the conversations that they were having amongst each other was pretty memorable too. It brings me back to when we went to the second AEW Dynamite, and just walking to the Harry Aganis arena and speaking to people that came from Connecticut and everything, and just comparing stories and interests. That had to be the atmosphere there. But yeah, it was a marathon tonight.
It was an unbelievable show to just even start out on top of that. It was a tremendous show. And like I said, this is the first, if you want to timestamp it, post-pandemic era wrestling event. It's definitely the biggest one. AEW has been doing moderate crowds throughout the pandemic, and very safely, I might add. They've been doing a fantastic job. But tonight they opened up full gate, and you really felt the energy. The crowd was the 13th man tonight. Big
Absolutely.
Time. I mean, they were unbelievable. They were hot energy from start to finish, with a dip maybe 75% in the show, and we'll get to that.
Yeah, we definitely will.
But yeah, it's stunning to think that we're on the other side of this thing, that this journey that started a year and a half ago.
Exactly.
That nobody ever knew how long it was going to go for. And it's crazy.
What I can say that, just watching it made the viewing experience better, really seeing a live crowd there and not just piped in noise. I mean, AEW, like you said, they've been having moderate crowds. Yeah. But here, when they pan the audience, everybody's literally sitting next to each other.
To the rafters it was tonight. Yeah.
It was a great taste of normalcy. And I enjoyed, even from the kickoff match that we're about to get into with
Rio.
versus Deeb.
No, it wasn't. It was
it was Rio.
Rio and Serena Deeb.
Serena Deeb. Just watching what the ovations when during the entrances. Mm-hmm. I said, "Oh yeah, this is going to be different. This is going to be different," and you can tell the talent loved it too.
They did, and I was saying, I would say the weakest thing we saw tonight, we didn't know at the time, but the weakest thing we saw tonight was most definitely the kickoff match. It was definitely the weakest, because, there was some flubs here and there at the beginning, but you also have to remember they probably had jitters, beyond belief, because they're now back in front of a live audience. And they've probably been working their tempo and been used to either a very moderate, low-end crowd, or no crowd at all. And it's like anything. I mean, I haven't really I'm fully vaccinated myself, but I haven't fully experienced any type of crowd at all.
Right.
I've only been around maybe half a dozen people at one time during the whole course of this pandemic. That's the max I've been around. So it's going to be quite an adjustment to get back. But watching it tonight and seeing the enthusiasm on everyone's face reminded me of pre-pandemic life. It's funny because other than tonight, I really couldn't. I even have trouble remembering myself like what our daily life was like because it's been this way for so long.
Yeah,
We're in a uniform now.
definitely some unique elements there
Yeah.
that go outside the ring. I mean, we all went through this.
Yeah, everyone.
But bringing it to the ring is, I know that, you know, for the majority of these professional wrestlers' careers, they wrestled in front of audiences, but it became normal to do it in front of a scaled audience or no audience at all.
Right.
So like I'm assuming that, you know, even though you can tap into your memory to assimilate what it's going to be like, there's no way in the world that you can do that when we all are coming out of this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like it's even more emotional and it's universally felt. I mean, we felt it from watching it, and you can see in the entrances. You know, just hearing a loud crowd roar. There's nothing like that.
Oh, they were just so excited. I mean, they actually had a "This is awesome" chant.
Like
for the kickoff show.
2 minutes in.
Like 5 minutes in, no lie, and they were chanting, "This is awesome," and the girls were doing well. They really were, but like not anything to warrant that chant. But I mean,
but you did say on our rating scale that you gave the kickoff show a 3 count.
I did. I'm gonna take that back because otherwise everything's gonna be 4 counts.
Yeah.
And there's no such thing as a 4 count. No, I have to say that the opening, I mean, based upon every other match on the show, I would say it's the weakest. I have to give it a solid 2.
Okay.
But it's a strong 2 because Serena Deeb played a great heel.
But they both were baby faces, but Serena Deeb worked as a heel.
Yeah, she worked as a heel. And the one thing that was confusing is she's the NWA Women's Champion, which I'm going to have to do some research on that myself because I'm going to plead ignorance here. I haven't followed NWA or AEW for that matter for a long while. I've been taking kind of a wrestling hiatus.
Yeah, so and that's one thing that I'm gonna reference throughout this recording is you know, walking in, you mentioned that. And we said this is a great opportunity for you to actually watch this with new eyes because you're walking in cold to the entire thing.
Yeah.
So another thing I'm going to ask too, as we score every match, was the replay value of it. So, and I know this is the kickoff, but you gave it a 2 count. Yeah. Would you watch this match again?
This match, no. Only because I'm wrestling out right now. I've watched 5+ hours of wrestling. But I mean, like if I was, no, I would skip this part of the event right now because it just gets better. It goes way more up tempo from here, and you know, and that's not to say that the girls didn't do well. They did fantastic. It's just, you know, their job was to rev up the crowd. They revved up the crowd, but I mean, God, that crowd was revved. They were good to go. I mean, the wrestlers could not have asked for a better crowd to perform in front of tonight. They were with them all the way.
Yeah.
Like I said, there was one match that they were you know, lethargic for, and we'll get to that later. But this match, no, it was a solid 2 count. What did you give it? I remember you were being quite reserved. You're like, I'm going to be reserved.
Yeah, like because if you listen to us, or maybe I haven't revealed this, but I cannot stand pre-show or kickoff matches.
I usually can't. No.
For they rub me the wrong way. It's like, you know, like let's get them on the card. Let's make them a part of the actual event, not the pre stuff. You know, like it's the bread that they give you in the restaurants before the meal. I just want my steak.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm saving the room for that. So like,
that's great.
But it was a cool watch. I mean, like it was a nice warm up for me, because of the ovation Riho got. Serena Deeb got a nice ovation, even though she worked as a heel. You know, like the crowd latched on. I'm gonna give it a solid 2 count. Yeah. Because of I was watching not only the match but also the reactions to everything. Yeah. And they reacted to everything.
They did. The crowd was stupendous. I mean, again, we're gonna sound like we're crowd praising here, but we should. I am praising the crowd.
You let off saying that it was the 13th.
The 13th man. The crowd did a fantastic job, but getting everybody into the motivation, into the mode they needed to be in.
Right.
They did awesome.